It started as a simple experiment. In the 1970s, a group of researchers wanted to test something terrifying. What happens when humans are kept awake for days? This wasn't fiction. Sleep deprivation experiments have been done before, and the results were disturbing. But this one went too far. 5 volunteers agreed to stay awake for 15 days straight. They were locked inside a sealed room with oxygen, food, water, but no clocks, no sunlight, no outside contact. At first, everything was normal. They talked, laughed, shared stories to pass time. But after day 3, things started changing. They became quiet. Their voices dropped, like they didn't want to be heard. By day 5, they began whispering into the microphones, not to the researchers, but to something else. Here's the scary part. Sleep deprivation can cause hallucinations. Real scientific studies show that after just 48 to 72 hours, your brain starts creating things that aren't there. But what they described didn't feel like hallucinations. On day 7, one of them started screaming. Not normal screaming, but a long, continuous inhuman sound, until suddenly his voice stopped forever. When researchers checked the cameras, he was alive, but his mouth was wide open, and his eyes were locked on something in the corner of the room, something that wasn't there. The others stopped talking completely. They began writing notes instead. One message repeated again and again. They are watching us. Now here's a real fact. In extreme cases of sleep deprivation, people experience paranoia. They believe someone is watching them. But what happened next has no explanation. On day 10, the cameras started glitching. Random static, shadows moving when no one was there. The researchers thought it was a technical issue until they enhanced the footage. There was something in the room, standing in the corner, not moving, not breathing, just watching. They decided to end the experiment. The door was opened on day 12, but no one came out. When they entered the room, the smell hit them first. Rotten, heavy, wrong. Inside, the volunteers were still alive, but barely human. Their bodies were weak, but their eyes were wide open. One of them whispered, "We don't want to sleep anymore." Another said, "If we sleep, they come closer." This connects to a terrifying truth. Your brain needs sleep to separate reality from imagination. Without it, you can't tell what's real anymore. The researchers tried to sedate them, force them to sleep, but as soon as the drugs kicked in, they started screaming, begging, crying. One of them shouted, "Don't let us sleep. They're waiting." Only one volunteer survived. He was finally forced to sleep, and just before closing his eyes, he said something chilling. "You'll see them too." He never woke up again. Some people say this story is fake, but the science behind it is real. And tonight, when you try to sleep, just remember, your mind is the only thing standing between you and whatever waits in the dark.